Now, first off, I want to say this is my reaction to the video that I seen, where Tony Stewart revved his car up and ran this guy over. First off, I want to say I don't condone what Kevin Ward did by getting out of his vehicle. You never get out of your vehicle and chase down a car, whatever. Look how he was going after him. I don't agree with that, but that doesn't give him any, that doesn't mean that Tony Stewart doesn't mean Tony Stewart had the right to mow him down like a fucking dog. If you watch the video, looks like Tony Stewart ran this guy off the track. The guy got out of his, Kevin Ward got out of his vehicle in a fit of rage and like started pointing towards him and like going at Tony Stewart's car, whatever. And at the last moment, you could see Tony Stewart rev his engine up and go right at him and just run him over and kill him. To me, from the naked eye in that video, my conclusion was he's a murderer. He killed him. That's what he did. Supposedly the police confiscated Tony Stewart's GoPro, which, if that's the case, that will show some incriminating evidence on Tony Stewart if it does what I think it's going to do, because it'll show you his point of view, and he's probably like, motherfucker, if there's any audio of him saying like, motherfucker, you, the fuck you, anything like that, Tony Stewart's done. Like I said, any prosecutor that's worth his weight in salt should be able to win this case easily. But Tony Stewart got money, so he's going to hire some high-powered attorneys. From what I see in the naked eye, it looks like a fucking blatant case of fucking road rage murder. Because, hey, we all been in that situation. Someone, you get mad off, you get pissed off, and you just make a hasty decision. Tony Stewart made a dumbass hasty decision with a 2,000-pound vehicle at his disposal and ran over this poor kid and killed him. And if that's the case, if it's proven when they confiscated the fucking GoPro, if they find out that Tony Stewart did this maliciously, with malicious intent, he should be given a death penalty. He should be prosecuted to the fullest and given a death penalty. Like I said, this kid probably had aspirations to be in NASCAR. It looks like the minor leagues, you know, Tony Stewart being like, to me, it looked like, I don't know why Tony Stewart was even there. I mean, this looks like below him, to be honest with you. He's a NASCAR driver. This didn't even look like racing. I don't know what it was. But like I said, from the naked eye, from what I'd seen, it looked like Tony Stewart mowed this kid down and killed him in cold blood. Looked like you can hear the engine rev up. You can hear the engine rev up at the last moment, and it looked like he just went right at him and just killed him, ran him over. And you can see it was malicious intent. From the naked eye, that's my conclusion. And I'm sure if you get a jury of 12 people of his peers, they'll come up with the same conclusion, no matter what Stewart's argument is. And I'm sure if they have the GoPro, documented evidence, visual, they'll show his field of view, and I'm sure there's going to be some audio of Tony Stewart saying, you motherfucker, if that's the case, it's over. So hopefully the police did confiscate what the report was that I heard, because I'm interested in this case. If Tony Stewart is found guilty of this crime and charged and found guilty of this, he needs to go to prison for a long time, and should be given the death penalty. Like I said, from my first judgment, case closed. He did it on purpose with malicious intent. Now, Kevin Ward, like I said, we'll never know. Maybe he aspired to be a NASCAR driver, whatever. I've seen a picture of him autographed. I mean, I don't know nothing about this racing, but it didn't look like this was I never heard of Kevin Ward, to be honest with you. Never heard of him. Like I said, he should have never got out of his car. That was his first mistake. Never get out of your car. So I don't condone what he did. He should never got out of his car, but that doesn't give Tony Stewart the right to run him over like a fucking dog in the middle of a fucking road. So I'm sure the appropriate investigating will be done. And hopefully Tony Stewart's money can't buy him out of this, because you know what? If this was proven that Tony Stewart did this malicious intent to try to injure this kid or kill him, then he needs to go to prison. I don't care what type of fucking money you have. This kid, a family member, has lost somebody that they loved because of someone's actions. And like I said, right from the get-go, looks like Tony Stewart did this maliciously. That's my first synopsis. And I'm sure when you see this video, I'll link you to the video. I'm sure Tony Stewart don't want this video to be circulated, but it's out there. You'll hear at the last moment the car revving up. Kid gets run over. And you'll see from the first responders' reactions, you could tell it was bad. It was like he was already dying. And I hate to see people with money get away with murder. I hate it. We already seen it with O.J. Simpson. And how did that fucking turn out? Now, I'm sure Tony Stewart ain't the type of guy that's going to go out there with a gun and a knife and just start chopping people up. But he does have a history of being a hothead. And I believe this was done as a road rage type incident. And I believe that in a court of law, it will vindicate itself, that he will be charged appropriately and found guilty. And I believe that he will go to prison for the rest of his life. And if he is charged and found guilty and he doesn't go to prison for the rest of his life, this country is backwards.